Hello and welcome back to Channel 1 News and another weekly gaming news update. Today I will be bringing you some more PlayStation news, Xbox news, and Nintendo news, so be sure to stick around. Now first up in PlayStation news, there isn't too much out there for any of these actual consoles or companies. It's just isn't a time for video game news, to be honest. There's a lot going on in movie stuff, so maybe I'll talk a little bit about that at the end. Now, for PlayStation news, there isn't, like I said, much. There's a maintenance update coming up on Thursday that's going to be happening between 11 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. It's a 3.5 hour update, and while it might suck and you will not be able to get online while the update's going on, if you're online before the update starts, you will be able to continue playing video games with your friends, and you will be able to, use your apps like Netflix and Hulu and so on and so forth. So either leave your PlayStation on so that when you wake up you're able to get back on there, or just wait until 2:30, and that Central Time, by the way. That way you could be able to play. If you live out in the UK, you will be getting some free online gaming if you don't have a PlayStation Plus account. So for, let's say, you have a PlayStation 4 and you just haven't decided to get a PS Plus account, but all your friends do, and they've been playing Destiny and you've been wanting to play along with them. Well, for this weekend, starting at Friday at 6 a.m. till Monday 6 a.m., you will be able to play with your friends online free of charge. So that's pretty damn cool, so make sure you guys get on that. Unluckily for us in the States side, we won't be getting that kind of privilege, so I guess we're just going to have to wait until they decide to do that for us. Waiting on you, Sony. Waiting on you. Now on to some Xbox news. Now, also with the Xbox stuff, there isn't too much going on. There's an update that got announced, kinda-ish. It's about being able to take screenshots while you're playing your games. It's kind of weird. I mean, the PlayStation 4 already has that feature, and I didn't realize that the Xbox didn't. But, whatever. They're throwing it on there with the next update, but there is no release date for it yet. I know that the actual function is in beta testing, but as far as for public release, well, we'll just have to wait. And then finally, in Nintendo news, there isn't actually anything on. I just wanted to make a correction from what I said last week on Xenoblade Chronicles X. Xenoblade Chronicles X is coming out for a Nintendo system, but it's not for the Nintendo 3DS. It's coming out for the Nintendo Wii U. And you could go ahead and click on the link in the description below to follow that trailer release. It's actually a pretty good looking trailer, and if you have a Wii U, I would recommend you go get this game because it looks pretty badass. Now in cross-platform news, this is for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. There will be a Dark Souls 2 re-release for both of these consoles. It basically just comes with all the DLCs, and it'll come with updated graphics, the usual HD updates for the newer consoles. Dark Souls 2 was a really fun game. It's really, really hard, so if you like challenging games, and I recommend you get on that. If not, if you want to just go for leisurely playing games where you can just kill enemies left and right, stay away from this. You'll have the worst of times. Now, if you really want to go play something difficult, go at it. Now, developers Ubisoft have been working on a brand new game that's going to be released on the downloadable marketplace, and it is Risk. Yes, you heard me correctly, Risk. That same old board game that's been out for a very, very long time, but now you're going to be able to play it on your console. So if you're a fan of this game series, then go ahead and get this game, because it looks pretty cool. There hasn't been too much release on this, but from what has been revealed, the game will play a lot like the board game counterpart, and it will carry on the same feelings. There is going to be a couple of extra things that incorporated into the game, but overall, it is going to be the same thing. There's going to be up to 4-player co-op, or multiplayer versus probably. So that's going to be cool, and if you like Risk, we'll get the game. I'm not a fan of Risk, I've never played it, and it's probably too time-consuming for my tastes, so I'll probably be staying away. And again, for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, there is a new game coming out for both of these consoles later on this year. It is Warhammer End Time Vermintide. It's a very complicated name, so I had to write it down and look at it, so yeah. Anyways, the game looks alright. I haven't seen the trailer, or I did see the trailer, but the trailer didn't reveal too much gameplay, so I can't judge the game quite yet. According to some of the details that have been revealed, there are going to be up to 5 playable character types, each one of them which is going to work completely different, supposedly, and they all will have different personalities as well. This is, again, coming out towards the second half of the year, so if you are interested in this Warhammer stuff, then keep an eye out for it. According to the developers, it does stick very strongly to the lore, so go get that. Okay, so now let's talk about games that are being released this week. Today is Tuesday, so today we were able to get Evolve for the PlayStation 4 or for the Xbox One, Super Stardust Ultra for the PlayStation 4. It's a downloadable content. It's an arcade game, and it's a sequel to a game called Super Stardust for the PlayStation 3. So, I mean, if you like old arcade shooters, this is probably going to be your thing. There's another game coming out for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 called Unmechanical Extended. Yes, Unmechanical Extended. So, I haven't heard anything of this game, I haven't seen any trailers, but, I mean, if you have heard of it, just remember that it is coming out today. Now, also later on this week, on the 13th, which is Friday, there's a couple of things coming out that day. It's going to be a really big release day. It's the new 3DS XL is coming out that day, along with the Majora's Mask and the Majora's Mask 3DS XL. And then there's also Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, Ace Combat Assault, Horizon Legacy Plus, another long title. And that's about it coming on the 13th. I have been pretty excited about this new 3DS, mainly just because of the extra buttons, the extra like joystick thingy that they are including. Finally, I get to move the camera around, especially for games like Kingdom Hearts that really required it. So yeah, it's something I'm really looking forward to. But that's it for your video game news updates. But let's talk a little bit about some new movie news that came out recently. I do eventually plan on doing a weekly movie news update as well, but until then, I'm just going to include little bits of information at the end of these videos that on things that I hear that sounds really awesome. Many of you guys have heard that Spiderman was never going to be going back to Marvel because Sony had their evil clutches on it. Well, just today, this morning, or rather last night, late at night, Marvel released a article saying that Spider-Man was now going to be joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that Spider-Man's going to become a property of Marvel Studios, but he is going to be coming out in the Marvel Studio films, which is pretty cool. They worked out some kind of deal with Sony where they're both going to have the rights to the character, but Sony takes care of distribution rights and so on and so forth. But either way, it's actually pretty cool. I've always wanted this kind of thing. I've always wanted to see Spider-Man swimming around with Captain America and Iron Man. Or even now, leave like Iron Fist and Luke Cage and Daredevil. The fact is that Spider-Man's actually much more of a street-level character, so now that he's going to be joining these elites, that's pretty damn cool. Well, make sure to follow me on Twitter, and hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. And also, if you want, on the other side of these links, you could check out last week's weekly news update in case you missed out on anything. So, join me next week, and maybe I'll see you this weekend with a brand new video game review. Catch you on the flip.